Hello everyone and welcome to MadeBnB 724 YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video thumbs up. Brooke and Nick reunite, and Ridge's engagement is stunning. Brooke Logan is hugging Nick Marone, and Ridge Forrester is engaged, according to Bold and the Beautiful. We begin by discussing what is ahead for the remainder of this week, just like we do each early edition day. Please be advised that this week has already seen one news preemption. Due to events in the Middle East, there may be more news preemptions over the remainder of this week and possibly into next week. Just be mindful of that. Additionally, you might want to go back and remove any reruns that they end up airing from your DVR. Otherwise, it might not record correctly. Spoilers for Bold and Beautiful, Katie's advice and Brooke's romantic predicament. In light of this, Brooke receives some well-intentioned counsel on her romantic predicament from her younger sister Katie Logan, Heather Tom, on Wednesday, June 25th. She still believes Ridge is her destiny, of course. However, Nick is also quite attractive. Given that Ridge appears to be remaining with Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, Katie would advise Brooke to think about Nick and if he's worth her time. Naturally, however, Brooke maintains that Ridge and Taylor are both aware that their situation is fictitious. On that point, I believe Brooke is deluding herself. Taylor is certain that her relationship with Ridge is genuine. Although Brooke may be slightly more accurate about Ridge now, I believe that she will soon come to see this differently. Due to this week's events at Illinois Giardino, Will Spencer's dangerous scheme, capturing Luna on Bold and Lovely. In the meantime, Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, is trying to stop Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, from ever interfering in their lives again by using himself as bait. Additionally, Will assures Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, that he is capable of managing Luna. There will be no threat to him. Will receives a lipstick camera from Baker to use at Luna's. Naturally, everyone is rather concerned that may be discovered engaging in such behavior. In order to record Luna for Bold and the Beautiful, he is also getting all set up with a microphone. She will attempt to tear his clothing off, though. Additionally, they have a huge microphone and a large bandage on him. Simply said, I'm not sure if they went to Spy's Eye Us or whatever to purchase this, but the equipment isn't tiny. Will therefore inform Steffi Forrester, Finn Electra, and Baker that he must obtain Luna's pardon in order to make amends for what Bill Spencer did wrong. Will also believes that it is his responsibility to return Luna to prison. Beautiful and Bold, Sheila is concerned about Luna. Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, meanwhile, believes Luna should be dubious of Will's abrupt change of heart after seeing her and wanting to be with her. He then proceeds to Luna's house, where he talks about ending his relationship with Electra, lets her kiss him, and will question her in an attempt to get her to make a confession that might land her back in jail. Furthermore, I'm not sure how Baker could have obtained a warrant. She hasn't taken any action. She has not violated any laws. She has simply been a little unsettling. However, keep in mind that Sheila was exonerated of the entrapment accusation, and this appears to be as careless. Steffi and Finn are anxious as they watch to see if Will's small bet with Luna will pay off. Ridge's response to Taylor's proposal, audacious and lovely spoilers. Taylor and Ridge are also at Illinois Giardino. She's also telling Ridge how much they have in common. There is passion and love, and there is no reason to wait for what they both desire. Taylor then makes a proposal. Nick is sitting close by, listening in on them with great excitement, and she wants Ridge to say that he wants to be her husband while she has a ring for him to put on her finger. Naturally, he wants Ridge to accept as he wants Brooke, and he is aware that if Ridge and Taylor become engaged, it may finally end whatever remaining bond she may have with the man. Then, on Thursday, June 26th, Ridge and Taylor celebrate their engagement. When he gives Taylor his response, it appears to be a yes, and she is wearing a ring. I'm not sure if it was reproposed from a previous engagement with Ridge or if Taylor Hayes purchased it herself. Since everything broke apart at the altar, as you may recall, Taylor and Ridge were engaged. Due to the disclosure that Matthew Atkinson's character, Thomas Forrester, had fabricated the CPS call. However, they have had multiple marriages. Therefore, the male should have left her a few rings in her jewelry box. Perhaps she is recycling one, then. Nick hears all of this in the interim. To tell Brooke what he witnessed, he would dash over to Forrester Creation. Nick will inform Brooke about Taylor's proposal. However, Nick won't disclose Ridge's response to Taylor until Friday's program. Will attempts to convince Luna to confess on video, but Elektra is pretty icked off while they kiss. Ridge Forrester's uncomfortable response. Ridge was caught off guard and placed on the spot by Taylor over at Illinois Giardino. Taylor was informed by the designer that she is his future. Taylor has offered marriage because she feels so insecure about Bridge. We can therefore anticipate Ridge's clumsy response. Ridge and Nick are going to get into a huge argument. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge and Nick will eventually get into a heated argument. This is because Ridge will be unable to control his jealousy of Brooke's former lover now that he is back in town. Ridge and Nick are going to get into a huge fight. Viewers could definitely see the venom in Ridge's eyes as soon as Nick entered the room in the most recent episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Given that Ridge has been alternating between Brooke and Taylor for so long, he has no right to question Nick about why he is there with her. Of course, there was a lot to say about the issue on the internet. Many B&B fans left comments such, "When Ridge saw Nick, his beady eyes instantly glowed with jealousy. When it comes to Brooke, he is like a hound with a bone. To get him fired up, all he needs to do is witness her with someone else. Ridge is behaving enviously. Today's episode was the best one in a very long time for me," remarked another admirer of the show. "Soon enough, poor Nick will be considered yesterday's garbage. Ridge can't take it any longer. After that, Tay-Tay and Uni can share a padded cell. I would much rather Nick and Brooke reconcile for a while and help Ridge stop stumbling and treating the women in his life with such disrespect. The cowardly Rudge character is unbearable to me. It would be wonderful to see him put in his proper place." Additionally, this comment was made, the laugh that escaped my lips. Wasn't he just telling Taylor that Brooke will find someone else to love and that everything would be all right? It made me laugh to see him take back what he had said when he entered that office. What comes next on B&B is still up in the air. To find out what will happen next, fans will just need to watch every single day. On Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, an extraordinary episode of The Bold and the Beautiful A's. Ridge Forrester makes a decision that will rock Los Angeles to its foundation. He says yes to Taylor Hayes. This is the culminating eruption of a long-brewing emotional storm. Taylor, driven by love and desperation, determines that the present is the best moment to secure her future in the seductive yet high-stakes setting of Illinois Giardino. She makes another marriage proposal to Ridge, convinced that she can finally outsmart Brooke Logan and guarantee her happily ever after if she just works a little harder. This time, Ridge doesn't dodge or postpone. His hesitancy is evident. His eyes are seeking, his mind is racing, but he falters under the weight of sentimentality and expectation as he looks into Taylor's bright eyes and shaky hands holding a symbolic ring. "Yes," he replies. Before he even completely understands the repercussions, the word escapes his lips, but it is spoken. After the proposal is accepted, Taylor exudes delight and gives Ridge a heartfelt kiss, claiming victory in her mind over Brooke, whose past romance with Ridge has plagued every stage of their engagement. Although Ridge's body accepts the kiss, his eyes reveal his skepticism, which underlies Taylor's joy. He has a fight inside of him that neither pronouncements nor rings can end. Nick Marone, meantime, is hiding in the shadows and keeping a hawk eye on the action. Nick, listening on from a distance, can't help but laugh at how predictable everything is. He was aware that Ridge would give in. Taylor would push, he knew. Now that Ridge is once more obligated to a commitment he might not really want, Nick decides to go see Brooke Logan. After all, the woman he once loved, and perhaps still harbors feelings for, should be aware of Ridge's most recent impetuous decision. Brooke is at Forrester Creations talking to her sister Katie Logan about Ridge's sudden remoteness and absence while Nick is planning his next move. Brooke is told by Katie, who is always the voice of reason, that she must accept the fact that, as she starts organizing the wedding with the zeal of a woman who is trying to beat the clock, Taylor's happiness turns into frantic energy. Not only is she getting married to Ridge, but she's also ending a rivalry with Brooke that will last for decades. There is a sense of urgency in every food item and flower arrangement. Although he silently fears the impending showdown with Brooke, Ridge agrees to it. He is aware that she will not take it lightly. Indeed, Brooke is incensed rather than devastated when Ridge arrives to deliver the news. Her sorrow turns into determination. She doesn't beg for once. She doesn't beg. She only instructs Ridge to wed Taylor and see the results. Ridge starts to question whether Brooke has really moved on after being taken aback by her composure. Then it strikes Nick like a sucker punch. Nick has been hovering, observing, and waiting. Ridge realizes Nick is to blame for Brooke's newfound confidence and shine. Meanwhile, Nick finds himself engrossed in Brooke once more. As they remember the passion, the laughter, and the wonderful times, their chats become more personal. Brooke remembers how Nick gave her a sense of being recognized and valued, something Ridge seldom ever did in their final years. Nick doesn't hesitate when he senses the door is open. He gives her a kiss. Additionally, Brooke doesn't back down this time. It's not a comeback. It is a rediscovery. Steffi Forrester learns that Luna is at large just as Brooke starts to release Ridge. The Finnegan and Forrester families experience panic. Hazy's safety takes first, and there are rumors that Luna would attempt to steal the child as retaliation or leverage. Feeling guilty, Finn tries to mend the harm his daughter has caused while juggling his responsibilities as a father and a doctor. Haunted by the trauma Luna caused, Steffi thinks about leaving with Hayes once more, possibly to a distant estate away from the turmoil of LA, rather than to Europe. In the meantime, Sheila Carter approaches Luna in a rare epiphany and offers her a safe house and an international aircraft ticket. However, Luna, who is now dangerous and erratic, has other ideas. She tells Sheila that she wants to put a stop to things, not run. It's unclear if that will entail a final run-in with Steffi, a kidnapping, or worse. Sheila is debating whether to step in and stop Luna from falling. However, she has second thoughts after receiving a late-night call from Deacon. He cautions her that she might destroy all the delicate bridges she has attempted to mend if she aids Luna. Sheila must then make the difficult decision to tie Luna in order to protect herself. The wedding bells may be ringing back in the glistening but broken corridors of Forrester Creations, but they are not in tune. Unaware that Ridge's heart is getting heavier every day, Taylor keeps moving forward, picking up venues and dresses. Nick and Brooke, meanwhile, restart their romance with unexpected maturity. Their once volatile chemistry now glows with compassion and affection. Katie becomes Brooke's supporter after being ecstatic about her sister's advancement. And when Ridge makes one final attempt to see how Brooke is doing, he enters her living room to find something unexpected. Nick and Brooke dancing slowly and intimately together, gaze locked, music low. Finally, the door has closed, and Ridge must now deal with the fallout from his inability to make a decision. The fireworks are no longer symbolic as the 4th of July draws closer. Luna's outburst has the potential to turn tragic. The day of Ridge and Taylor's wedding is undetermined. What about Brooke Logan? For once, she is choosing herself above a man, and perhaps even a second chance with the man who has always loved her. At the same time, Luna vanishes into the night, leaving a path of mayhem, heartache, and peril in her wake. With Ridge confronting a future he might not want and Sheila, Deacon, Steffi, and we're all getting ready for fallout, Bold and the Beautiful lays the stage for a scorching summer finale in which no villain is completely eliminated, no love is assured, and no heart is safe. Because happily ever afters are always one twist away from catastrophe in this town, and redemption is as ephemeral as retaliation. Therefore, it is imperative that you hope Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, does not become like his father. Will is complicit in this sting and knows that Electra Forrester is keeping an eye on him with Luna. So how hot and heavy can Will allow himself to get? B&B, is Luna Nozawa able to provide Will with a great deal of pleasure? Will Spencer talked about this risky endeavor with Steffi, Finn, Electra, and Chief Baker on this week's episode of The Bold and Beautiful. Despite Luna's past horrific crimes, Will Spencer reassures everyone that he can handle it. The plan was made public on B&B. Will be wearing a wire while on camera. The next step is for him to convince Luna to be more open about her intentions to pursue Steffi. As Steffi reminded everyone, Luna is smart, so that won't be easy. When Chief Baker is there and there is a cable and a camera, gathering the evidence is simple. But getting Luna to divulge anything that they can use as evidence is the problem. Luna Nozawa has already made her intentions very clear with regard to Will. She desires a private game of play with him. Furthermore, when Will texted Luna to express his want to view her tattoos, he might have been hinting that he accepted the invitation to have sex. However, Elektra's presence could jeopardize Will's ambitions with Luna. Beautiful and bold, Luna's sideways sting. Previews for Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Luna flees when she discovers Will Spencer is portraying her. So, Will seems to be the only one stung. Or maybe he isn't. Luna Nozawa must have had a motive for fleeing. Maybe she said just enough to throw herself into trouble with Will Spencer. Forecast for Bold and the Beautiful, Luna tricked and Ridge engaged soaped out. Luna had her eyes set on Steffi last week, and then Hayes Forrester Finnegan, Brian David Garlick, so she might still try to harm them while they are running. By informing Remy Price, Christian Weissman, last week on Bold and the Beautiful, Luna implied that Steffi ought to know what it's like to have a child withheld from a parent. She compared it to Steffi severing Luna's relationship with Finn. And the ideal method for Luna to out Steffi would be to catch Hayes fleeing. The Bold and the Beautiful enters a new era of suspense in one of the most astounding, nerve-wracking plot lines the CBS soap opera has ever ventured to explore as Luna Nozawa's deadly spiral sends shockwaves across Los Angeles. It remains to be seen, though, how Bold and the Beautiful will end Luna's terror. The novel explores treachery, seduction, deceit, and the blurred lines between justice and punishment as Will Spencer, the son of the famous Bill Spencer, takes on the role that once ruined his father, the man behind the wire. With Finn, Steffi Forrester, Elektra Forrester, and Chief Baker joining forces in an unexpected alliance to bring down Luna, the stage is set for a sting operation so dangerous, so emotionally charged, and so delicate that the slightest mistake may lose them everything, not just careers or freedom, but lives. It's hard for anyone to truly understand what it's like to dance with someone like Luna, a woman who has been rejected, wounded by love, controlled by bloodlines, and driven by desire for vengeance that burns everything near her. Will Spencer is composed, confident, and skilled. As soon as Will goes onto the wire, he is thrust into a psychological battlefield where charm is weaponized, passion is weaponized, and secrets are concealed beneath layers of seduction. He must dangle himself like bait, feigning admiration and flirting with Luna over her tattoos. But Luna is not a beginner. She senses the shift in tone. She sees that Elektra's eyes are not completely hidden from observation. When Bill Spencer tried and failed at the same game, she remembers clearly what happened to her grandmother, Sheila Carter. That history haunts this mission. As Will takes on his father's bravado and becomes the object of Luna's obsession, every moment has a hint of déjà vu. But compared to Sheila, who was taken down by her own ego, Luna is much more dangerous because she is more self-aware, more calculating, and considerably less forgiving.